Welcome to the Safe Village, a community for everyone who cares about student safety and well-being. My name is Sydney. I'm the CEO of Saasyan, and my guest today is Mark Humphries. Mark is the ICT Services Manager at Nossal High. Mark, welcome to Safe Village.
Yeah, g'day. Thanks, Sydney, and thanks for the opportunity to be involved with your Safe Villages program. It really is a great program. It is something that we need to look at and we need to embrace because we need to keep our students protected in this ever-changing world that we're currently in. So I look forward to having a bit of a discussion today, and it'll be good to flesh out some of the issues that we have seen and how some of the solutions that we've put in place may help other people.
Fantastic. Thank you for being here, and your insight is what's going to make this community get value from it. So that's really great. So Nossal High, not your average school. It's a selective school. It's high-tech by design. There's this absence of school bells, which I'd love to hear more about, and it's got an adult learning environment. So tell me more, and as the head of technology, what's top of mind for you when it comes to this?
Yeah, thanks, Sydney. Yeah, look, it is a very different school to work in. Nossal High School is certainly named after Sir Gustav Nossal, one of Australia's living legends. And yes, Sir Gus does still visit the school fairly regularly, and our awards nights, and that he is certainly there, and he certainly provides inspiration not only to the students but to the staff as well. But as you say, yeah, look, we don't have bells. That is absolutely correct. We don't have clocks either. So that goes to show, the level of trust that we have with our staff and our students. As you say, it's a adult learning environment. Now, we treat everyone as if they are an adult, students and adults. Students, as a part of growing up, need to take responsibility. So the students have to take responsibility for their education. And they do. They really do embrace that approach. We're not there banging on them to hound them to get into class or anything, because they know at 9 o'clock, I have to be at X. At 9:20, I have to be at Y. They know. And we don't have any issue with students running late to class or anything. We don't have students wandering around the corridors at recess or during class time or anything. Students know they need to be here, and they are there. And that's equally the same for the teaching staff. They know that they've got a class at this particular area. They are there on time. The class finishes and starts bang on time. So that's just a credit to the principal when he first set up the school, thinking, how can we embrace technology? How can we embrace and encourage our students to learn differently? And that was really where the principal started. We had to do things differently. We have to, being a select entry school, we have to perform, and perform well we do. And that is a complete credit to how the school was originally set up. And with all of that, because we are in very much an adult learning space, and we're dealing with young students at the same time, we all know they love technology. And so that has always been a central plank in what we do. But we have to be careful that technology doesn't derive the curriculum. Curriculum still is the key, and curriculum drives technology. And so because I look after the technology, I love the space. I've been playing in it for way too long. When I started, I didn't have any hair, and I still don't have any hair. But we had to look Oh, I look and seeing what's already out there. I look at best of breed products and applications, and that's what I use. Yeah. We have to be well ahead of the curve. And I look at implementing those things, technology that the staff don't even know they're going to want for 2 or 3 years. I look at implementing now so that in 12 months, 2 years' time, when an idea comes up, can we do X, Y, Z? The immediate answer is yes. And why is that so? It is because the principal and I and the ICT team get together and we talk about the future, what is coming. And the school love that. And so we can actually get that implemented. So it certainly makes my job a whole lot easier. And then when you have great products, and as I said, best of breed, when you get those implemented and bedded in early, it certainly makes transitioning a whole lot easier as you move further down the track.
Speaking of looking forward and being prepared, you guys were quite well prepared for the last 12 months with the learning remotely and learning from home. This is something you guys implemented multiple years back in terms of digital days and so on. Can you share some of your insights and what triggered it and how you got prepared for that and what other schools can learn? I guess it's now past, but from the thinking and planning perspective to be one step ahead as part of the ICT leadership function.
Yeah, sure. Many of you will probably remember 10 years ago, we heard all about this virus that was floating around, and it was given the name SARS. And okay, it didn't affect huge parts of the world and stuff, but it certainly sparked a bit of interest in our school. And the technology team at the time was saying, what if? And back then it was a what if statement. Something happened, a pandemic as an example, came along and shut schools down. And so just over 6 years ago, we did our first digital delivery day. As you all know, we're not allowed to tell the students to stay at home. And so we never told them that. We encouraged students to stay home, but the school was certainly open if they wanted to come to school. But we delivered an entire curriculum for a day remotely. And that proved to be incredibly successful. And so since that day, we have gone on and developed multiple strategies, not one form of delivery. We have multiple delivery forms of technology and curriculum digitally. And we've been doing that for over 6 years. Many of the schools that are out there now have certainly picked up a lot of what we've done. 3 and 4 years ago, we had lots of schools hearing about what we were doing, and they actually came to the school and we showed them what we were doing, how we were doing it. And a lot of schools in the last 2 or 3 years have certainly picked up some of the ideas. So for us, that was absolutely fantastic. All of a sudden, COVID came. Well, yep, were we ready? Well, we were as ready as every other school, but we had the edge because we already had learnt digital delivery of curriculum. Our school is a select entry school, as we said earlier, which means we're only years 9 to 12. So all of our kids that were in years 10 to 12 had already done multiple digital delivery days. So for them, it was pretty easy for them to just switch onto having their curriculum delivered every day digitally. Our year 9s, well, they were only at school for 3 or 4 weeks at the beginning of the year, and then they were at home. Then they came back for a couple in the middle, and then they went away again, and then they came back for the end. So all in all, they were here at school for maybe 10, 12 weeks at the most last year. Mm-hmm. Our senior students, to help them actually, and this is part of the adult learning, our senior students mentored and helped our year 9 students get online, and start to understand how digital delivery of curriculum worked. So, it wasn't without its challenges, but, for us, that was, a pretty good and easy transition. We did music lessons online, singing, instrumental things, all done online. We held whole school assemblies online. We held year level assemblies online. We did class assemblies online. So for a lot of us, or a lot of the things that we were doing as a normal school in the everyday, we were able to replicate online. The hardest challenge I think that we had was really, how do we get the business side of school working online? So there were a couple of challenges there, but within a week, 2 weeks, we had the business side of the school functioning. And a lot of those things that we implemented during the lockdown last year, we're actually still using now, because they've proven to be very successful. They've certainly saved a lot of time. Saving time means we can save a few extra dollars, which, as I try and say, well, technology needs that, because we've proved technology needs more support.
Fantastic. So, Mark, there's an emerging theme that's bubbling to the top of my head as you keep speaking about both you and Roger as the principal and the school overall, which is leadership. And, I'm thinking about right at the beginning where we spoke about, it's all about trust and trust of the students, that they'll know what to do, and giving them ownership of the learning. So that was really interesting. And then, looking forward and being a little bit ahead, and having the digital days before the COVID-19 pandemic, and you were ahead there. And then the concept of the year 10s, 11s, 12 being able to nurture and support the younger guys and girls. That was fantastic. And then just your leadership in the community of inviting the other schools to come in. So awesome, hats off to you and the leadership of the school for doing that. What guidance do you have to others who are in a similar role like yourself? They've got responsibility for technology in the school. They may or may not have the benefit of having strong leadership like you do in terms of the principal and the founding story with Gus and so on. But what guidance do you have for an emerging Mark Humphries in an ICT role inside a school there where they're trying to make an impact?
Yeah, look, technology in education today is it's here to stay. When I first got into technology and in the education space is too many years ago. Like the first school that I worked in, we were still using coax, diskless workstations running DOS. So I'm showing my age there. And back then, everyone was saying, "Oh, yeah, it won't last." Well, how wrong were they? And I am lucky to say that in all the schools that I've worked, there's not that many, but in all the ones that I've worked with great people, great leadership that have seen the value and the benefit of technology. And over the years, I've seen a lot of great products come and go. The amazing products stay. And that's what I was saying earlier. It's the best of breed product. And that's what you've got to work with. Yeah, sure, they might cost you a few extra dollars, but they are going to be the products that are reliable and trusted. And to me, an emerging me, you have to be clever. You have to not go there and say, I have the answer to everything. Like in all business, you have to build a business case. And that business case is what I think I've really brought into a lot of the education places that I've worked. It's being able to see the product, see how it's going to work and benefit not just the student, but the school as a whole. And once you can do that, you've got a great basis for building that business case and taking it to the leadership, and be firm in your convictions that this is going to help you. And like we're talking about safe villages. We are now an online environment, whether we like it or not. Right? The kids of today, you take away their mobile phone, and as a lot of people know, in Victoria, we've got a mobile phone ban on in schools. I won't say too much about that because I'll get political, and this is not a political thing. But what we really need to remember is kids, when they're not connected with their technology, seem to go, get nervous because they've got to be doing something. So at Nossal, we've looked at that and seen that, and we've tried to embrace that and use technology to enhance their education. But if you're doing that, we are connected, we are online, we have to look at ways of ensuring their online safety. And that's where, again, as I said, best of breed product comes into play. And you've got to deal with, the what ifs. We are in that environment today of where, everywhere you turn, we're talking about we have to protect. We have to protect our students from online bullying. We have to protect our students from scam emails. We have to protect our students from each other in some circumstances. So how do we do that? And how do we do that in a way that's not intrusive? And that's the challenge. And so that's where you've got to look at what's out there, analyze it, get proof of concept products or proof of concept programs up and going, and then go and show that to the leadership of the school to say, we're told we have to do this, and this is a way that we can do it. And if you can do that, you'll find that your time in the education space, which is very different to a traditional work environment, is incredibly rewarding.
Fantastic. And finally, Mark, what do you wish others knew about your role and your work and your mission and if they did know, it would make your life easier, whether it's your internal team members or you said you didn't want to get political before. Mark, it's your show. Take it wherever you want. Tell us what you're really thinking.
Look, I'm still employed, so I want to remain gainfully employed. Yes. So, look, what do I wish people knew? I wish they knew more about what is actually coming, and learn more about the education space, because it is challenging. It is unique. A work environment, a very simple thing, a work environment. At 8 o'clock in the morning, the computer graph starts to go up. By 9 o'clock, it's getting to a peak, and then it sort of is a steady little steady line until 4 or 5 o'clock, and then it starts to decline. Not so in a school. I mean, in a school, a network environment has peaks and troughs, and they're massive peaks and troughs. Every hour there's a massive spike of network traffic. It's either shutting down because they're all closing up their machines and moving on to the next class, and then all of a sudden it starts up again. And then by 3:30 in the afternoon, bang, it drops dead. It just, so on a simple thing like that, it makes it challenging. And you're dealing with, particularly in our school, because we have technology as such an integral part of what we do. If the student has a problem with a notebook, they bring it to the IT office to get repaired, and it's like chopping their arms off. Because how am I going to learn? I don't have my notebook. And look, it's not that if you don't have a notebook, you can't learn. Of course you can. We have strategies in place for that. But, you have to think quick. You have to learn to adapt very quickly to the ever-changing space. So, for people coming up, learn to be adaptable, learn to read the trends of what's coming out there. I will get a little bit political. The Department of Education have some great ideas, absolutely fantastic ideas, but that they have a one-size model fits all. And unfortunately, it doesn't. And so that's why not just Nossal, but there are several other schools out there that have really gone and pushed the boundaries of the use of technology. And so I think the biggest thing for people coming up is don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to stand up for what you believe. Make sure you go there and you do it within the rules of engagement. Everything that needs to be done is being done. Everything that we are told that has to be done is being done. But we certainly do a lot of the other stuff very differently. And that's the challenge. So, I love the challenge, and put a challenge in front of me and I will make the challenge work. And don't be afraid to go with your leadership and say, this is the path that I think we need to go, and just see where it takes you. I like to think when someone asks you and puts a challenge down in front of you, it's not about, can I do this or can I do that? The answer is, yes, I can do it. I don't know how, but I will work out a way and make it happen.
I love it. We're kindred spirits, mate, in terms of that positive and can-do attitude. And I think the proof is in the pudding, certainly from Nossal's perspective, in terms of the top results you guys get and the number of applications for entry into the school. And there's only a limited number of places every year in year 9, and you guys always are way oversubscribed. So I guess the evidence is right there. So Mark, thank you for being on The Safe Village. I took a number of takeaways from it. Firstly, and the overall theme sounded like it was around building trust with the students, trust with the teachers, and creating an environment where we're pushing boundaries, but we're allowing people to be themselves and to step up. Couple of other key takeaways: curriculum leads technology, not the other way around. Think about business cases that bring value not only to the students but to the school overall. Go for best-in-class technologies and do your homework, but go for technologies that obviously last. And of course, it's a double-edged sword. It might cost you a little bit now, but down the track, that it's going to stay with you and grow with you. Have some time put aside to look at what's coming. And finally, your final point was don't be afraid to challenge, right? Challenge within the boundaries and the rules, but to challenge. And I think that's where innovation takes place, when we sort of say, well, what we did yesterday is not good enough again for tomorrow. So anyway, that were my key takeaways. Was there anything that I didn't ask that I should have?
No, look, I think you've covered it pretty well there. And look, I'll just come back to that trust. Trust in the vendors. There are a lot of great vendors out there, and there are a lot of great products. Trust in them. Have faith in what they are doing, and make sure we work very closely with Microsoft. A lot of the stuff that's in Teams, we're a very early developer, or not, I shouldn't call us a developer. We're very early in the uptake of Teams in the educational environment. And we have worked very closely with Microsoft. In the early days, they were saying, Teams wasn't meant to do that. Well, guess what? Teams does that now, because we had faith in the product. We had faith in the vendor that they would support. And so I think, you touch on trust. And again, that comes back to the best of breed product. You get the product and you get the team behind you to implement it and make sure that it is good and safe for everyone, for the whole school.
I know you've been lovingly pushing them to lift their game and do things, and I know you've been pushing our team as well. So thank you. That's having a partner like this and that collaboration always works well for everybody. And I think there's many schools that are now benefiting from the early work you did with teams and the Saasyan guys, our team. So thanks for pushing the boundaries there.
No, that's what we're here for, because at the end of the day, the product has to deliver. And if the product doesn't deliver in a school environment, you learn very quickly. And if you don't deliver, you're out on your ear pretty quick, because we have a very dynamic environment. You have to be agile so that you can adapt quickly. And so, I remember very early on when we were looking at Saasyan, one of our very first questions was, how can Saasyan integrate with Microsoft Teams? And the answer was, back then, it can't. Very quickly, you saw that, yes, this was going to be a need. And to your credit, Saasyan's credit, within months, you had that ability to add that layer of security. And that's why what I mean of having faith in the vendors and sticking with the best of breed.
Thank you. Well, we're honoured that you're a customer and honoured that you're here sharing your wisdom and insights on the Safe Village. Mark, thank you very much for being here. I wish you well, and I look forward to continuing our collaboration.
No worries at all. Thank you, Sydney, and good luck, everyone, with your journey in the technology space. It is a fun ride, filled with challenges, but in schools and in technology, we all rise to the challenge. So thanks, Sydney.